Oh, and welcome to your last Loose Women of the Week. Joining me, Kay Adam, this Friday. It is Stacey Solomon, Judy Love, and Nadia Sawala. But was there a strange noise when we came out there?
I just wasn't ready for it.
Okay. Listen, it's me.
Is it you?
What was it?
It's my Spanx.
What? Your Spanx are rustling.
Why are they making so? It's not, but I don't know why they're making so much noise. Imagine me. Oh, you want to talk to me?
It must be the dress on the Spanx. Is it the material?
No, it's the legs rubbing. Listen.
That's what we kicked in with. It was mice.
It's not between my legs, mate.
Right, okay. Well, coming up, footballer Andy Carroll and his fiancée Billy Mucklow might be waking up some tough conversations today as pictures have emerged of Andy in bed with a blonde woman who is not his fiancée, reportedly taken on his stag do. Whilst the woman in the photograph says nothing happened, we asked, could you forgive a stag do misdemeanor? The new ABBA concert premiered last night to rave reviews and features the foursome as holograms in their youth, not as they are now. So we're asking, do we all want to live in the past? And are you ready for some summer loving?
Spin a new old favourite of mine.
Singer turned actor Peter Ondry will be joining us to talk about the latest goings on in his life, and he'll be taking to the floor with his Grease castmate for a very special musical medley. Oh, listen, talking about Peter, another little heartthrob came in just before we walked into the studio that you were rather excited about, Judy.
Yes, I was very excited to see this young man. I mean,
This young man.
He's a legend. He's a lovely legend, Mr. Ian. Right. Oh, my.
He is actually the nicest man.
I think my scream scared him ever so slightly.
Can I just say to you, if you thought you were cool...
Was I not?
No, you were not.
Oh, my God, you're not supposed to be my girl. You're supposed to tell me that.
We couldn't catch you. We were trying to give you the eye.
You didn't know Mama could move that fast, did you?
Well, we were sitting having a script meeting, then suddenly...
You know, when it comes up, Ian, he's absolutely lovely. I think we met him once before, but this was my moment, my special moment, and he was so lovely. Yeah. And sorry about your eardrum.
Do you think he heard your Spanx?
I hope so.
Well, listen, down to more serious matters, unfortunately. Chancellor Rishi Sunak has announced a £15 billion bailout to help households with the cost of living crisis. But as everyone is set to get £400 each, and that's part of a larger package, what's your reaction to it, Judy?
I mean, look, people are going to be and are in a real desperate state. You know, it's an emergency in regards to people's finances and so on. But I just think to myself, there needs to be a longer or more significant process to this. It can't just be a one-off payment. You know, it needs to be thought out much more better, that there's something that would be more consistent, because it's the consistency of mistakes that have been made while we're in this situation anyway. So this one-off payment and going to everybody, I just hope the people who don't need it will either give it to people who need it or pay it back. I'm just concerned that after this, then what? You know?
I mean, just going through it, so everyone from October is going to get £400, or every household from October, that's for energy bills. Then 8 million low-income families will get an additional one-off payment of £650. That'll come in 2 instalments, one in July. On disability benefits, there'll be another £150, and pensioners will receive an extra £300 in November and December. So that's the way that they're kind of spreading it. So there will be additional payments for people in special circumstances. But everyone will get this one off 400. You're smiling, Stacey. Why are you smiling?
I just think it's another example of how out of touch the government are. I think that, I know that we were discussing this earlier, Kay, and I was saying I don't like what Judy said. Where's the long-term resolution? And you said, well, actually, it works out cheaper to roll this out to everybody than it does to just find the specific people who need it.
It's cheaper and quicker.
But is it though, Kay? Because if they were a good government, they would have foreseen this happening years ago. They would have started these programmes years ago. They would have made sure they set up things in place for people.
A lot of this is COVID. I mean, you know, I'm the last person to make excuses for Conservative government, but a lot of it is COVID. Then you have the situation in Ukraine, that we have a food crisis, and it's also had an impact on the energy because we've had a squeeze on that. I mean, these, I hate to use the word unprecedented, but these are unprecedented.
But then they should make account for unprecedented times that could happen at any point to anybody, and they're supposed to be the people looking after us. When I had Zachary at 17, at 18, I got a Sure Start grant. Sure Start grant, it was called at the time. And I can't tell you how much that saved my life. My working tax credits saved our life. We could not have got by without those. The milk tokens that we used to get to help us buy SMA and milk and stuff from the shops that we couldn't afford. All of that got abolished. Like some of my friends who are in similar circumstances now don't even have those opportunities. They're completely taken away from people. And then they turn around and go, oh, look, we're in a cost of living crisis. Let's roll out £400. It's too little too late.
Which none of those are suffering from. None of them are suffering from this crisis that's going to be happening financially.
And it was only months ago that Dominic Raab, to say about this, after the pandemic, actually said on the radio, I don't believe anyone in this country will be choosing between heating and eating. Oh, wow. You know, so they haven't, I don't think they have been responding. Also, I'm really cross that they waited till the Sue Gray report and then brought it out. Yeah. I feel very frustrated, and it's great that I have a friend that's got a university degree in economics, because I don't understand. There seems so many more simple solutions when you just look at it. Like, why give everybody when so many won't need it? But then also, you know, I was talking to a friend of mine the other day. She works, her husband works. They have a good life. They're not well off, but they have a good life. And we were chatting. She suddenly stopped and she looked at me. She said, do you know, I don't actually know how we're going to manage. And I was quite taken aback, because I didn't imagine that she was going to be somebody that was worried.
And I think that's where your point is really relevant, Stacey, actually, thinking about it. I mean, right now, where we are, I think they're probably doing as much as they can, but you have to look at the backstory, and you're absolutely right. Too many people living week to week on the tightest of budgets. So your boiler goes, your car goes, your washing machine goes, there's something that's a substantial payment, and boom, the whole thing disappears. And it's that fragility, I think, that
was there way before.
We have gone on with for too long.
For most people who need that £400, that £400 was spent 6 months ago.
Exactly.
That would be put straight back into things they've had to pay for. You know, people couldn't afford, mums couldn't afford school dinners for their kids during the pandemic. Why is that even happening? How does it get to that point before somebody in the public eye?
But as you said as well, Stacey, before the pandemic, there's a terrible discrepancy between the way that people live, and this government, as far as I'm concerned, long term hasn't been doing anything about that. And now, like you say, and you were talking earlier, a lot of your friends would have just gobbled up this £400 so quickly, and then what do they do next?
Well, the problem is we can't constantly live in crisis. It doesn't bring a solution. It just mends over until the next crisis happens. And
the thing is, though, I mean, come October, then there will be pressure on the Chancellor to do something else. And I mean, it's not as if this is going to be a once and all. But you take your point, Judy. You don't want to lurch from crisis to crisis to crisis. You want to set in place a system that is going to be there and is going to carry people through, so that they can have some certainty and take away the anxiety from many, many people's lives. I mean, and I'm not trying to be a smarty pants here, whatever, but I mean, if I get my £400, I absolutely say to you, I will be giving it back. Or giving it to the appropriate charity. And I'm sure lots of people will do that if they are able to. And I'm not doing that to try and make anyone feel rubbish.
But if you don't need it, don't keep it.
If you don't need it, don't keep it. Listen, let's talk about other things. Some very tough conversations might be going on in the household of one of Britain's top footballers today. Ex-West Brom player Andy Carroll has been splashed across the papers, apparently pictured in bed with a woman who is not his fiancée. That's former Towie star Billy Mucklow. So he was on his stag do in Dubai. The woman in this picture says that nothing sexual happened. It's all innocent fun. That's his fiancée there, that photograph there. We're not showing a picture of the woman who apparently was in bed with him. But it's the stag do, Stacey. I'm sure there'll be a stag do coming up in your life soon. You know, it's the last blowout. Look at that fixed trend.
No.
Boys will be boys. Would it bother you?
Boys will be boys? What kind of poor excuse for every man out there for doing something wrong is that? Joe's going on a stag do. I'm lucky, I feel. I mean, this is the first time I've ever been... not the first time I've ever thought, oh, you know, this is going to be our advantage. Joe has no room for like what's happened here. That woman could have literally gone up to him 3 times while he was on holiday and gone, can we have a picture here? Can I have a picture here? Can I have a picture there? And the papers can make it look like whatever they want. So I said to Joe, good luck having a good stag do, because everyone's got a camera phone, everyone's
an amateur journalist.
The journalists will be there looking to see what you get up to and trying to spin it and twist it anyway. So he's going to be like sat
one of the benefits of being in the public eye.
But those pictures are still hurtful, aren't they?
Yeah.
They are hurtful, but I think you have to take everything with a pinch of salt when you see stuff like that, because we've been through it. We've seen things blown out of proportion, and you know.
But I think it's about. Like, if nothing happened, and I totally believe something, it could have been that nothing happened. We've always been saying, oh, you've got a dressing gown on and you're having a bit of a laugh. But actually, we made the decision not to show the photograph because we thought it'd be a lot more fun to get Judy to recreate the photograph that's on the front of the newspapers today. So maybe we can have a look at that, because I think where this went weird.
There it is.
That's what you will see on the front of the papers, but obviously with the two actual people. There's Cavan, one of our team. We love Cavan. And Judy, but that is the photo, isn't it? And it's like, why would you post that? If nothing happened, why would you post that? Did you not think at any point that might hurt the people involved?
I'll tell you why, because there's people out there who are clout chasers, and they just want to get anything on the gram, anything on social media. At the end of the day, when you're doing things like that, when these particular people are doing things like this, they're not thinking of the other person who's actually dealing with the shame or the humiliation or feeling, hurt because they're thinking someone is cheating.
Ultimately, I mean, if Joe were to be snapped in that situation, it would be Joe's responsibility.
Honestly, I think we're in the public eye, and whether you like it or not, what you do is probably going to be recorded at some point. So you have to take responsibility.
Yes, you take responsibility, but there is people that are genuinely out there to try
if he's fallen asleep on a
vulnerables.
sunbed, in that picture, to me, it looks like he's fallen asleep on a sunbed and someone's walked up to him and took a picture.
Yeah, it was in a bedroom.
It could be anything.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. You know what I mean?
Allegedly. Yeah.
It could be anything. It really could be. But
I hope they work it out.
Is there any leeway for a stag night, though?
No, absolutely. I mean, there is. Go and have fun.
I mean, like, back in the day...
Why would you want to be with another woman? If you want to be with another woman, don't marry me.
But back in the day, it was standard, wasn't it? I mean, like, guys would go to strip clubs. Women would have some kind of stripper gang would come round. I mean, that was what people did. That was what Stag do was.
If my hen do, I'd be devastated.
Don't worry, we won't.
Would you? I would be devastated. I would hate that. Well, I don't want to... I mean... I don't want to see anyone naked at the best of times.
Cancel the plans. Cancel the plans. I'm sorry. No, go on. No. Please don't. It happened to be once at my 21st birthday, actually. They brought a Tarzanogram.
What's that?
Well, it was a guy in a loincloth. But he was quite a petite guy, and at the end he was supposed to kind of lift me up, do that big sort of thing. And he took one look at me and he thought, there's no way I'm lifting her up. It was so embarrassing. So I lifted him up instead. So I've got a picture of him like this. And he's gone, oh, my loincloth. It's not good. It is not good. We have a poll here somewhere. I'll get you the results of it.
Well, somebody will.
Hello. Well, I don't know. I mean, it's now asking me for my verification code.
Don't do it.
Can I just ask? I know we're supposed to stop talking about this, but
96% say yes, they would forgive a stag do slip up.
Wow!
96%. So what are we classing as a slip up? I mean, getting drunk and having a laugh, fine, but
slipping on top of
sleeping with somebody else.
96% said they would not.
Oh, thank God for that.
That's a massive difference.
I couldn't listen because you three are screeching in my ear.
We were just basically saying, don't try it, don't do it, don't muck about with me, or it's over.
Well, can I just say 96% of the people watching agree with you.
Thank you, because I was about to take off my trainers. That's all I'm saying.
There you go. Coming up next, we're talking wedding etiquette. Is it wise? I really don't know. Would you be happy if this was served to you? Yep. There you go. That's pasta in the middle of there. That's what one top celebrity served up earlier this week. Left us feeling hungry, I tell you. And the interesting story of a woman who has fallen in love with her dying best friend's husband. Should she reveal that they have kissed in the hospital car park? Discussing that right after this. Welcome back. We are getting in the mood for musicals this Friday. It's Peter Andre and the cast of Grease, the musical, perform a special medley just for us. I don't think Pete's impressed with our hand jive there at all. It is time for the competition, and there is a two-part prize package up for grabs. It includes a brand new motorhome and £40,000 tax-free cash. Josie is live in Weston-super-Mare with all the details. Hi, Josie. Here she is.
Good afternoon, ladies. Yes, we're kicking kicking off the Jubilee celebrations here on Western Supermare Pier. We're even joined by Western Brass and Michelle, the director of the pier. Now, you've got so many things going on. Tell us a few bits you've got coming up.
We kick off at 9:45 on Thursday with the official lighting of our beacon with bagpipes and entertainment, 2 cake competitions, and finishing on Sunday with our wonderful Jubilee lunch.
4 days of celebrations, and I'll tell you, we've got something else to celebrate about. We've got an incredible 2-part prize, which kicks off with this: a brand new motorhome worth over £66,000. It comes with a luxury interior. Imagine all the family holidays you could have in that bad boy, and if that wasn't enough, we're also throwing away £40,000 in tax-free cash. It could all be yours. So if you fancy getting your hands on a brand new motorhome and £40,000 in tax-free cash, here's all the details. Pick up the phone, get the entry in. Good luck.
For your chance to win, text PRIZE to 81119. Text costs £2 plus 1 standard network rate message. Go to the website, entries cost £2. Call 09068 781119. Calls cost £2 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and phone number to DY21 PO Box 7558 Derby DE10NQ. Entrance must be 18 or over, and lines close on Friday the 10th of June at 3 p.m. Good luck.
Yeah, good luck. Judy's on a whole comedy routine while you've been away, actually. The Kardashians have been all over the papers this week after Kourtney tied the knot with her partner Travis. However, the food has caused an outrage. Take a little look. There you go. That's a wee dod of pasta. Is that acceptable, do you think, Nadia?
Good God, no. It's rumoured that this wedding cost 7 million smackaroonies.
Wow.
Can you imagine?
They didn't spend it on pasta, did
They
they?
get that much pasta.
£2 on
I
pasta.
suppose they're all very thin. They're all wearing thousands of pounds worth of gowns. You've got to just whip it up quickly so you don't drip it down your top.
You think that's the logic behind
No,
that?
you couldn't eat that whole ball in one, could you?
No, you'd have to because of your top.
That was all I saw was definitely not no West Indian. Yeah, there was no containers. I need to drop asleep at the table and have a container to take food home. I don't know what that was.
It's terrible.
It was Italian. The pasta dish is supposed to be very small. It's
Fill up
one
the
of
plate.
many
Fill up the plate.
courses. Fill up the plate.
Can you imagine how drunk they all were? They'd have all been falling down the stairs.
Wow.
That amount of carbs.
Yeah.
You can't drink with that.
Do you want us to come round and make sandwiches, by the way?
I'm just going to have a barbecue. Do you know what I will say? I think wedding food, for some reason, is like 10 times more than any other time you'd cater for anything. So I do think it's really difficult for anyone to, like, have the food that they imagined.
I know when you go in and they say like £5 for a vol au vent.
Or even
It's
sometimes they charge you to open the bottle.
Yes, they do.
And you're like, oh, okay, maybe I'll open it myself. I'll just go around
Cork
pour
it.
it on a chair.
That's what I did it in my own garden and all my family cooked the food. Then no one's
Yeah.
hungry.
But I'm just thinking
If
barbecue.
your family could come round and
Darling, you're on.
But if you're having a barbecue, have a word with Pete. Pete loves a barbecue.
Yeah.
He's good at a barbie.
He is.
Maybe I will
He's
ask
a Barbie king.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, this is a really kind of interesting, difficult kind of situation. This is a woman who has apparently fallen in love with her best friend's husband, kissed him, but the best friend has a terminal illness. So the dilemma being, and she's put this out to everyone, do you reveal what's happened while the friend is lying in hospital, or do you keep that to yourself? I mean,
Keep
unusual.
it to yourself.
Well,
Honestly,
unequivocal.
Where is the dilemma here? Where is the dilemma? Like, have some respect for yourself. Your friend is dying. It's not about you. Like, the fact that she's trying to project all that guilt onto her and give her, the choice of whether she accepts him or not. I think it's really out of order in that moment. Really selfish. Maybe they connected on the whole, like, what you were saying, trauma bond. But still, like, come on, fix up. That's not acceptable at all.
Honesty is not always the best policy. Honesty is often just the best policy for quite a selfish person because you need to feel better about yourself. And so you do have to weigh up sometimes whether you're doing the best thing for the other person by telling them the truth.
I mean, honestly, she's dying. Why would you do that? Why would you even suggest? Why would you even put that out there? What even made you get to say to kiss her husband? The both of you need to take responsibility for your actions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting with the great old internet out there, and we're always hearing these dilemmas which are kind of thrown out to the world. What do you think? I would imagine in that situation, if however it came about, you feel rubbish. You kind of know you've not done the right thing, and you're wrestling with your own conscience. So you throw it out to the world, and you hope that some people are going to come back and say, "Oh no, I really sympathise," or "No, yeah, that happened to me." So sort of try and make you feel better about something that you know is wrong. And it's like we're getting less good at taking ownership and taking responsibility for our own actions, don't you think?
Yeah.
Most definitely. And I think that's a way of people almost, like you said, bypassing, not having to deal with it. You knew it was wrong. That's the whole point that you put the dilemma. You know, when you get someone asks you a question, "Oh, what do you think?" You know what you think because you're actually asking someone else's opinion.
Yeah.
So you know what.
I do think there's value in hearing what other people have to say. I do. I get a lot of strength from like asking my friends or my family their opinion on something because sometimes I think a lot of us live in this world where we're a little bit
chamber.
Yeah, it's all a bit here, and we actually don't see it from other perspectives a lot of the time. So I
the
do
thing
think
is,
there's
if
value in
your friends and family, if you put something out there to your
Not to
friends
be
and family,
yeah.
trusted people, and they said, "Stacey, I'm sorry, I really don't think you're right in this situation," would you take that on board?
Oh, yeah, 100%. And they've done it to me numerous times. And
Yeah.
I mean, we're human. This is the thing. I think we have to stop trying to project onto people that they're holier than thou and that they have to do everything right in their life and make all the right choices, because we don't. I think if we are a bit more open with people making bad choices and saying it's natural to make bad choices, but this is a bad choice, then people will take responsibility for it. I think it's a two-way thing.
If we like had sympathy, total sympathy for this situation, it could be two people that really care about this person.
Yeah.
And they are brought together in a desperate moment.
Yeah.
And that it's okay to say, do you know what? I want somebody to help me through feeling this bad. But the answer would have to be, you're going to have to feel that bad.
Exactly.
Because if you transfer any of this to her, that's a terrible thing.
And that's the point. There's a difference between. I feel like there's a difference between putting something out there and getting it back. But we have to go have a moral compass. We all make mistakes. But the fact that you're going to now put that onto your dying friend, you've actually taken away any moral grounds, and it's actually in this moment only about her and her feelings, and that's what I don't agree
I would
with.
want to know though, just to condemn it. So
would you?
Would you? No, I don't want to know. Let me come back and haunt you when I find out.
Still to come, as ABBA received rave reviews for their hologram concert last night, showing the foursome in their younger years. We're asking, are you guilty of wanting to live in the past? That's right after this.
Beauty school dropout, hanging around the corner store.
Welcome back to your final Loose Women of the Week alongside me, Kay Adams, are my fellow beauty school dropouts, Stacey Solomon, Judy Love and Nadia Zawala. Coming up, Peter Andre performs with the cast of, you guessed it, Grease the Musical, and he's going to be telling us all the latest goings on in his life. He's in the moment there, Pete. Look, he's in the moment. But listen, first we've got some really wonderful news. Our very own Gloria won an Outstanding Contribution Award at
Well done.
Congratulations, Flo.
I love it.
That is fantastic. What a great photograph as well, isn't it? And speaking of awards, we are on the long list for a National Television Award.
Bring it home, girls.
So if you want to make sure that we are on the short list, you can vote for us at nationaltvawards.com/vote.
This could be This could be the year.
Do you think this could be the year?
Ninth time lucky.
Oh, man.
This could be it.
Hey-ho, God loves a trier. Last night saw ABBA fever hit London town, whilst the foursome reunited in person. Let me get a good look at them. The actual concert featured holograms of the band from their sort of heyday. Got brilliant reviews.
It's unbelievable.
So it's featuring them all in their younger years. But it got us thinking this morning, didn't it? Do you want to live in the past?
I think this is fantastic. I mean, I'm not really one of them techno hologram people, but I was saying to you, wasn't I?
Yeah.
My mum talks about Elvis and people that really inspired her, that she loved. And I obviously never got the chance to see him live or anything like that. And to go to a concert like that where you feel like you're living on
back there.
I could almost relive what my mum speaks about, which would be so cool, I think.
I don't relive anything.
Don't you?
No, not even the good bits.
Really?
I wouldn't go back and do any of the good bits. Except maybe I'd have stayed longer feeding the ducks with the kids and not said, come on, let's go to a cafe. That's the one thing I really regret. Why didn't I spend longer feeding the ducks? I always wanted to rush off.
So do you never look back?
Not really. I'm not nostalgic at all. I don't ever think about the past, and I very rarely think about the future.
Oh, wow, you're in the now.
I don't know why that seems so funny. Wow, you're in the now.
Well, that's what everyone says that
Everyone
you
wants
should
to be
do.
present.
Is live for the moment, isn't it?
That whole live for the moment scares me. It's so much pressure. You know, some moments you don't want to live for. Not you don't want to live for, but some moments you're like, oh, I don't want to be. I want to imagine the future, or I want to reminisce the past. Why does it always have to be right now? Right now can be stressful.
You know what?
But you love the now.
Well, no, it's just I was such a moronic person for so much of my younger life. I was all impulse and instinct and just crazily doing things with no thought for even my own life a lot of the time. I was a mess. And it's taken me, I've worked really hard to get where I am emotionally and everything now, and it's an ongoing thing. I don't want to go back and have to do it all over again. So I just see it as like, now is the best time of my life. Now I'll say to my, like, if I see a photograph of myself when I'm young and I was gorgeous and I didn't know it, I put the photograph down rather than going, oh God, I'm so... Because when I'm 65, I'll be looking at myself at 57 and going, oh, you were gorgeous then, you didn't. Yeah. So I'm just trying to just say, this is the best moment. It's happening right now.
That's so
you don't think about the future either?
Oh, futures, don't look at the future. You see, I live with a man who lives with anxiety, and he's always trying to plan for all the things that could possibly go wrong. But the problem with that is you don't know what's going to go wrong. So what you've done is you've wasted the time now thinking about something, and there might be something completely different that goes wrong. So what's the point?
I'm a bit guilty of that.
I hear what you're saying about, I like to look back, and I hear what you're saying about sometimes, but everyone deals with things differently. Looking back too much and being too, paranoid or nostalgia and worried about what happened before, which we can't change, can affect you. But for me, I find that I look back in certain areas of my life. Some are happy moments, some are sad moments, but it's helped me to bring a lot of healing that I can now be present in the now, you know? So
I'm presumably always learning.
Yeah, so I look back and it learn, but then there's something, I think to myself, the same with yourself and myself, I feel like we shouldn't be so harsh on who we was, because that person, whether they were vulnerable, whether they made mistakes, whatever situations we had, has helped us to carry us to where we are now.
But that's why I think, yes, I agree with you, but it's like I don't want to ruin where I've got to now by keep going back over that, because it is my past.
I think you're all thinking too much.
You look like you're in physical pain
I feel like sometimes it's nice to, sometimes like right now I'm thinking this is a well good day, like I'm with all the girls, I'm having a really lovely time. But sometimes I'll sit there and I'll be thinking of something else, like
daydreaming.
I might be thinking of like the early days of having Zaki, or like I might be thinking of something, of a childhood memory, and I can lose myself in that memory for a little while, and I love it, and I don't have to be in the present.
Does it make you sad then?
No.
To come back? Like, when they're teens and they're a bit moody and a bit grumpy and life is difficult for them, and you can find yourself slipping into, like, I'll look at a photo and they're really cute and just holding your hand and you can sort it out, and it'll make me feel sad. So I just come back to the present.
Maybe that's because you're not remembering the other memories.
Yes,
when they're little, they're also really hard work.
Yeah.
And although they're hard when they're teenagers, Zaki's hard as a teenager, but he's also some of the most amazing times of Zachary and now as well.
Sometimes it's a coping mechanism, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a coping mechanism for some people who just look on the future, and sometimes trying to not look at the back is sometimes a coping mechanism.
Also, do you make up your memories? So me and my sister have got two different versions of events, everything that happened in our past.
I thought my dad had a Rolls Royce. I told everyone, Dad had a Rolls Royce. And then I found out he had a Rover, didn't he? He had a Rover.
You do. You make it up in the end, whatever you want to remember.
I like your thinking. Still to come, my page 3 days. No, I'm only kidding. We're gearing up for some summer love, and it's Peter Andre and the Cast of Greece perform for us, and the ultimate T-Bird himself will be telling us why a career change in his 40s is just what the doctor ordered. Talking to Peter next.
We go together like
Hello again. Yeah, we are getting in the mood for some Grease Lightning now. They're just overexcited. I apologise. What can I say? Yeah, the man, the myth, the legend. That is Peter Andre is going to be joining us. Yeah, he may be known for his 90s hit Mysterious Girl, but now he is heading back to the 70s for his latest role in Grease the Musical. Please welcome Peter Andre.
Oh. He's singing every song.
Oh my God.
We all love Grease, so we're just all so excited about this
This
performance.
is your fault. They're just hysterical.
We want people to come and see the show, and all they have to do is tune in here and they can see the whole show. So I'm not sure this is working right.
Do people sing along? Like, I always wonder, is it really annoying when people sing along?
No. Sorry. No.
Okay, Peter.
No, it's actually... I wish they would sing along more because I think there's certain rules in theatre where you can't stand up until the end.
Oh.
And, you know, the songs are on and you can hear everyone getting excited, and because all the classics are in there.
Yeah.
All the classics and a couple of songs that weren't in the film but were in the original script.
And was it a film that you loved when you were younger?
I'm going to confess I was 5 years old when the film came out in 1978.
Oh my God.
And I remember being excited about it because we were about to move to Australia. We immigrated when I was 6, and apparently there was an Australian girl in it called Olivia Newton-John, and we obviously at the time it was like a girl called Olivia Newton-John, and we were so excited. And then I wasn't allowed to go see it because I was too young. But when I did go, I went over 10 times consecutively to see it.
Yeah,
That
we
and
were
Back
like
to the
that.
Future, they're my two favourites.
Yeah, it was a big one for me.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you, Pete, it looks like you're having so much fun when you're performing. Is it really, really hard graft? Because I see how hard all of the people in the theatre work, and I just watch and think, wow, that energy, that performance every single night.
Yeah, but, you know, I'm quite lucky because I get to, you know, I get to do a part in the show that Teen Angel, the second half is very heavy for me, but the first half is not so heavy for me. But the other guys, they are working like I've never seen anything like it. And they're doing undercover, you know, understudy roles, and they're doing all sorts of things all day.
But they're young, Pete. They can do it.
To you, isn't it?
They've not got your knees.
That's true. On my back. But they are brilliant. I mean, you'll see later on. They are so good. I mean, you couldn't get a better cast, honestly. No. Brilliant.
Pete, listen, I have got to ask you about the Wagatha Christie thing. I'm sorry, I've got to bring this up.
Are you asking me to address the elephant in the room?
Yeah.
Hang on, did I just say elephant? I think we should leave it right there, actually.
We were talking about it on the show, actually, the other day, and I was really championing you because I loved your film that you did on Instagram. I thought it was so authentic and classy and necessary, I think, after all that time. And I think you were absolutely right that it probably would have been very different if that had been somebody talking about in that way about a woman.
Well, on reflection on that, I think it's not the fact that something was said, because I think we all say stupid things, right? It's more about the fact that something's brought up again and again and again and again, and at some point you kind of go, okay, like
enough's enough.
You know, and that's the only thing. It's not even. It becomes more than just that. That's just, okay, we all say stupid things. Everyone does. Like, there's no... I'm sure I've said many stupid things in my life, you know? So,
but in an online world, of course, you never, ever get to forget, but it's coming back. And we were speaking earlier, weren't we, about the football and a picture that is now out there, and they'll probably never escape that particular picture. And, I mean, I know the online world is something that you have big concerns about. You're very much on board with the online safety bill, aren't you?
Yeah, so Nadine Dorries, she's trying to pass this bill and she's doing a great job. I would love to see it extend to online grooming as well, because this is a real, real problem. Yeah. And Junior and I actually have just done a short film. It's not finished yet, but it's about online grooming. And what freaks me out about what's going on online is we think we know everything, right, of what's going on. Can you imagine? They've now got devices, right? So you can think you're talking to somebody else, but they can actually talk. An old man can talk, and it can come out at the sound as a young girl.
Yeah,
I never knew that was possible.
This
is scary now.
You know, thinking of you know, online and you know, you've got your children out there and protecting them, and just the way that thing, especially like Twitter comes. I remember the time when your son, everyone was talking about his accent. How do you protect your children or have that conversation with them?
Well, I might say something that some won't agree with, but I've had people say to me, well, don't put them on social media. Don't let them go on it. And I said, okay, that's good, but the chances of that happening are next to zero because you can do it at home, yes. So Emily doesn't let Millie and Theo go on it, fine. But what happens when they go for sleepovers? You're going to stop them going for sleepovers? They're going to do it there. When they go to school and they're hanging out with their friends at lunchtime, they're going to go on their phones. I've seen it happen time and time again. So we thought, wouldn't it be better to actually just put protection online? So they may be able to access it, but it's how we protect them once they've accessed it.
And you know what, my daughter's
give them the education, the best education that you can around it, because like you said, all kids eventually, well, most kids will be introduced to social media. The problem is there's nothing in schools giving them any guidance or help with how to manage it and how to really know what they're doing on there. So if you can be, like you said, looking into things with them, open with them, showing them what you're doing, showing them the dangers, but also showing them that it can be a fun, creative
My daughters
space
say that kids that aren't allowed to go on just get a burner phone.
Yes.
They get a phone and then you know nothing about what's going on. So an open dialogue, I think, with the same with anything with kids, isn't it? You want them to talk to you rather than everybody else.
Yeah.
And you and Emily are doing great. You are lucky, aren't you?
So punchy.
Oh my goodness!
I've been punching for years. No, the thing is with her, she's just so kind and she's just gets on with it. She just lets me do my thing. She never says, "Oh,
she's amazing.
Why are you doing that for 6 months?" She's like,
She's probably glad to get you out the house for a bit.
Well, that's what I'm trying to get the impression.
And she's the DIY person and you're the cook.
Yes. So this is how times change. We were having this discussion before when I was saying how I remember at 3 years old, I'm telling Junior something, and then years later, I'm telling him something completely different. It's the same with, I had this image that when you first get married, you know, you do this and that and the...
Pete, I'm going to have to rush you off to do your performance.
Oh, see,
I'm so sorry. Are you going to come back and tell us the end of that story?
Yes.
I'm so sorry, Pete. We want to see you. There he is, Grease Lightning, 5 feet, competition time. Sorry about that. Back to Josie, who's live for us with all the details of how you can win a brand new motorhome and £40,000.
Yeah, we got the party started on Western Supermare Pier with all the Jubilee celebrations. I'm joined by all my Jubileers. I'm even joined by Terry, who's a royal super fan, and Kate even makes Terry a cup of tea. Have a look at this cake someone's brought down. This is made by Dolly. She's a local. Just look how beautiful that is. And I tell you what else is beautiful, our incredible 2-part prize, which could see you £40,000 richer, and this brand new motorhome worth over £66,000. It's got a luxury interior. Just think of all the destinations you and your family could go in that. But you will never know if you don't pick up the phone and get the entry in. So if you fancy getting your hands on £40,000 and a brand new motorhome, here's all the details.
For your chance to win, text PRIZE to 81119. Text costs £2 plus 1 standard network rate message. Go to the website, entries cost £2. Call 09068 781119. Calls cost £2 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and phone number to DY21 PO Box 7558 Derby DE10NQ. Entrance must be 18 or over, and lines close on Friday the 10th of June at 3 p.m. Good luck!
Thank you, Josie. At the end of the table there, Nadia and Judy are comparing notes on Peter's perfume. Or was it? Aftershave, I should say.
Johnny Depp is apparently.
I'm going to spray it on the wall.
I'm having to write it out in French.
I just feel that.
As he went away, you smell so good, Pete. You smell so good. That's nearly it from us this week. Next week is a soap double bubble with Hollyoaks, Gary Lucy, plus King of Corrie, William Roach joins us for a Jubilee special. But for now, a very special treat for you here with a very special performance, Peter Andre and the cast of Grease.
Summer loving had me a blast.
Summer loving happened so fast.
I met a girl crazy for me.
Met a boy cute as can be. Summer days just drifting away into all those summer nights.
Tell me more, did you get very far?
Tell me more, like does he have a car?
She's from Bonnie, she got a crib.
He from Bonnie, got my suit down.
I saved her life, she nearly drowned.
He showed up, splashing around.
Summer sun
something's begun. That all those summer nights. Tell me more, or is it love at first sight? Tell me more, did she put up a fight? I took her bowling in the arcade. We were strolling, drank lemonade. Cheers! We made out under the dawn. We stayed out until 10 o'clock. Summer fling don't mean a thing, but oh, those summer nights. Tell me more, but you don't have to brag. Tell me more, cause he sounds like a drag.
Why, this car could be systematic, hydromatic, ultramatic. Why, it could be greased lightning. Oh, grease lightning, you're burning up the quarter mile. Go, grease lightning, you're coursing through the kickback trial. You are supreme, the chicks will cream, for grease the lightning.
Beauty school dropout, no graduation day for you. Beauty school dropout, missed your midterms and flunked shampoo. Well, at least you could have taken time to wash and clean your clothes up, instead of spending all that dough to have the doctor fix your nose up. Baby, you blew it. You put out good advice to shame. How could you do it? Bet you did. Abby'd say the same. Guess there's no way to get through to you, no matter how I try. Might as well go back to that old shop.